सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः। गणपति देवं नमस्कृत्य भास्कर सरस्वती देवीं नमस्कृत्य हयग्रीव 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 यो वदेत् तस्य निस्सरते वाणी जह्नुकन्या प्रवाहोत्। हयग्रीवं गंगादेवीं सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारं, सर्वदेवतायां नमस्कारं कृत्वा अहम् अद्य कार्यक्रमम् आरम्भं करोमि। प्रथमं वेदसंस्कृति प्रार्थना कर्तुम् अस्माकम् उपाध्यक्षं डॉक्टर विशालक्ष्मी महोदयम् आह्वयामि। डॉक्टर विशालक्ष्मी महोदयं वेदसंस्कृति समिति प्रार्थना करोतु इति।
ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम्। ओम श्री महागणाधिपतये नमः। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ओम प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्र्यवतु। ओम श्री महासरस्वत्यै नमः। ओम सदाशिवसमारम्भां व्यासशङ्करमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्य देवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव। ओम असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्य देवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। हरि ओम। इदानीम् अद्य कार्यक्रमम् आरम्भं कुर्मः। अद्य वक्ता श्रीमान् राममोहन महोदयम् आह्वयामि। भवान् पूर्व कौन सा बैंक में बैंकिंग संस्थायां कार्यं कृत्वा विश्रान्तः। भवान् इन्स्पिरेशनल डेवलपमेंटल
सर मी वाइस కొంచెం లోగా ఉంది सर।
भवान् वित्तशाखायां बैंकिंग संस्थायां कार्यक्रमं कृत्वा विश्रान्तः। भवतः प्रावीण्यं युवतानां अभिवृद्धिपूर्वक प्रेरणार्थक अध्ययनपूर्वक भाषणद्वारा प्रेरितुम् इति करोति। बहवः पट्टभद्राणि नीत्वा तदनन्तरं ट्रैनिंग कोर्सेस् बहवः कृत्वा अत्यंत विश्लेषणपूर्वक प्रसंगानि दातुं निष्णातः। अद्य नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी NEP एक
सर वाइस చాలా లోగా ఉంది सर మీది ఒకసారి చెక్ చేసి।
యు ఆర్ ఓకే అన్నయ్య, యు ఆర్ ఓకే। మీరు వాల్యూమ్ ఎక్కువ చేసుకోండి రామ్మోహన్ గారు।
నా వాల్యూమా?
యా,
లెట్ మీ చెక్ ఇట్ అప్ సర్।
యు ఆర్ హర్డ్, ఓకే, యు ఆర్ లౌడ్ అండ్ క్లియర్ రామ్మోహన్ గారు।
ఆయన స్పీకర్స్ లోలో ఉన్నాయి. इतः पूर्वमपि भवान् एकवारं नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी विषयं नीत्वा भवान् प्रसंगं दत्तवान् एकवर्षपूर्वे। इदानीम् एकसंवत्सरानन्तरं न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी कथमस्ति, कथम् अभवत् प्रभुत्वं के विषयानि कृतवन्तः, अद्य स्थितिः किमस्ति, एतानि विषयानि नीत्वा प्रसंगं करोति इति प्रार्थयामि। Now I take this opportunity to introduce our speaker today, Sriman Namile Ram Mohan Mahodaya. He is the ex-employee of banks and a very senior position. Now he is a development speaker, inspirational speaker for youth, and he has conducted many meetings and seminars for developing the youth in the society. He himself is a very renowned educationist and attended many training courses and attended work in various places all over India and visited the foreign countries also. And he is a motivational, inspirational, and developmental speaker for the youth. Dr. Ram Mohan, I request him to take the platform today and give us the overview of new education policy present status and his views on various issues on that. Swagatam. Ram Mohan Mahodaya, please take over and conduct the speech.
Prabhakar garu, is my voice audible, sir?
Yeah, audible.
Right, sir. Fine. Sir, should I speak in Telugu or English, or in a mix of both?
English preferably. Telugu also is okay, but English, because many people may know, some people may not know Telugu, some people like
so
that.
I will do it in English only, sir. No problem.
Yeah, we have given
Right.
publicity on English basis. That's why.
Okay. I will do it totally in English. Right. Okay. Fine.
Okay.
So, good afternoon to all the participants in this particular Zoom session being conducted by veteran Sri Prabhakar garu. Out of his love and affection to the Indianization or Indian Bharatiya Prachina Sampradayamu and all these things. Any country is having its own heritage, and particularly when it comes to India, we are the most oriental and the oldest country in the world. So that, needless to say, that we will be having that kind of heritage. And of late, as you observe the media, many countries are trying to follow the Indian traditions and systems, even education system, Bhagavad Gita, or whatever. Now, today the topic assigned to me is the new education policy, in short, NEP. I would rather put it in the, I am a little acronym passionist. I will put it as pen, PEN pen, the pen with which we write. Because the pen is connected with the education, I would like to put it that way, pen, meaning from the right to left, new education policy. Along with this, I am also mandated to speak in conjunction with this about the importance of education, training, and research in one's life. When we say in one's life, it is to say that in anybody's life and in each and every person's life. Though we speak from the context of the India, it pertains to all the people all over the world to the extent it is relevant to them. Everything in the world may not be relevant to all the people of the world, but definitely certain things are relevant to at least certain people. That way, I mean to say, at least one point will be relevant to everyone. This importance of education, training, and research in one's life, this also I put in the form of a acronym, I say oil rate, OIL, oil, crude oil, refined oil, what we say, and RATE rate, for that rate we say what is the cost in that sense. So pen is one thing, oil rate is the other thing. Combining these two, I'll be sharing my views, thoughts to the extent I am equipped about it. I'm a little a person who takes interest in the education right from the days of my children. I have two sons and daughter. Elder one is a IIT Kharagpur pass out, and the second one is a regional engineering college, now NIT Calicut passed out. And my daughter is a medico, and son-in-law is also medico from Gandhi Medical College and Usmania Medical College in Hyderabad, respectively. These things why I am telling that as a person who has some interest in education, I made a lot of study, if not research, on the all India national institutions that are available for higher education at that point of time. This is early, late 90s, mid and late 90s, something. Government in any country has several acts. Apart from act, there is a constitution for every country. That is one thing. Keeping in tune with the constitution, from time to time, any government of any country, they will be promulgating ordinances and subsequently making acts or straightaway acts on relevant issues. Where the act is not required, they frame policies. So governments have their own policies, and even corporates have their policies. Now we are talking about the government of India's policy on education. That is the new education policy 2019. The earlier policy was of 1986, and the recent policy is of 2019. It was put on for 1 year in public domain for the deliberations, and finally this pen was released. Whenever I say pen, it is new education policy of GOI. GOI, I mean Government of India. So this then was announced on 29th July 2020. I will just read out certain salient features of the pen in the first level. Thereafter, we can go into a little bit explanation of the deliberations on it. And here, those who are assembled are the senior people. You must be having your own knowledge, information about this new education policy. It's a public document. It's a 66 pages document. Some of you might have gone through. I, on my part, I have attended in the last 1 year several webinars. Thanks or no thanks to COVID. Most of the meetings are now held in the webinar form. I have attended quite a few of them. Now, this new education policy is released on 29/7/2020. That is now more than 1.5 years old now. And the implementation of this education being in the concurrent list of both union and state governments, it is slated to be implemented across the country in all the states by the year 2022. As of now, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh are already in the process of implementation, and Uttar Pradesh is also getting ready itself to implement. And in course of time, other states will follow. Then one more, not much significant, the HR ministry, which has finalized this new education policy, the name of the ministry is changed to Education Ministry with effect from 23 November 2021. There is nothing much in the name of the ministry, but still, as a piece of information. Whatever inputs we have certain in the form of the information, certain in the form of knowledge. there is a difference between information and knowledge. A well-connected series of information on a particular subject is the subject knowledge. We had, for the last 20-30 years, had a system of 10 plus 2 years. That is secondary school up to class 10, SSC we say secondary school certificate, then 2 years of intermediate, or in some states we say pre-university course. Before this 10 plus 2, we had 11 plus 1 system quite long back, maybe in the 50s, from late 60s or early 70s, we have switched to this 10 plus 2 system. And now this 10 plus 2 system in the new education policy is replaced by a 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. That is 15 years of education system. Then in the new education policy, there are 4 parts. Part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, like that. And there are 27 chapters. And all this is put up in a 66 pages document. The 4 parts are: part 1, school education; part 2, higher education; part 3, other key areas of focus. When we say other, we need to understand it that other than education but associated with the education, other key areas. Key is a significant word, and areas of focus, focus is also a significant word. So part 3 is other key areas of focus, and the last one is making it happen. Vision is there, but it should be followed by a mission. These are the 4 parts. Then 1, Central Advisory Board of Education is going to be set up, in short, CJBE. For any government in any country, there are various advisors, advisory committees, and advisory boards also. Here in this case, it's an advisory board. Their main job is only to advise. It is for the administrators to accept it or partly accept or reject. That is another point of it. And in this new education policy, there is a multidisciplinary approach. Here, what we need to think is that I was also raising some questions in one of the webinars. Question was appreciated, but the answer was not forthcoming. It happens. Multidisciplinary, we have various disciplines of study, various faculties of study. In our old Indian tradition, we say Chatushashti Kala. That is meant 64 forms of education. In olden days, there was no discrimination between science, art, and commerce. Now, all our education is, till recent times, we used to have only 3 divisions, either art, BA at the degree level to start, or science, BSc, or commerce, BCom. But again, I classify in my own way, stream of education as an acronym stream, STREAM. My STREAM stands for science, S for science, T for technology, or I will come later, E for engineering, A for arts, M for management. Management is everything in life. In India, we have IIMs, renowned institutes, Indian Institute of Management, numbering around 50. Earlier, we had only to begin with 5, and many number of IIMs have come up. Why? Because of the importance of the management. Unless you manage, nothing moves. And how long should we manage? As long as your task is on hand, till it is completed, we have to manage. And if you complete a task, there is another task in the pipeline. So as long as the life of the individual continues, his management of his self, management of others, management of the activities that he has taken up continues. That is the importance of the management. Then generation to generation, individual comes and go, but human race is perennial, more or less. So it goes on continuing. Then what is the role of an individual in this ongoing perennial human life that goes on? During your life, your lifetime, are you supporting? Are you contributing? Are you inventing? Are you discovering something which will be useful to your fellow human beings to your lifetime? Point number one. Point number two, when you exit this world, are you contributing something worthwhile which will be useful for a comfortable, more comfortable than what we are living in the current generation to the next generation? That's a positive contribution. This is about the management part of it. The letter R, which I left, stands for risk. Everything is full of risk. There is no activity without risk. We have a saying, no risk, no gain. But when we take risk, we should not take a wild risk. We should take a mild, moderate, and calculated risk. This is one thing. And every risk needs to have a cover. Without cover, risk should not be taken. Risk may not materialize in most of the cases, 99% or even 99.99. But 0.01 materialization of the risk is sufficient enough to damage everything. So this is my explanation of STREAM, STREM, from the old BA, BSc, BCom thing. Then what is the difference between science and technology? Science is the root, base, theory, and technology is the application. Science is the theory, technology is the application, science is the knowledge, technology is the know-how, application. And now we are in technology generation 5, 5G technology and industry 4 version of the industry. So this is the way how the we as a human race have been progressing from time to time. Then when I say education, there are 3-4 words connected with it. One is information at the basic level, piece by piece information. I was just telling a while back, a connected, well-connected series of information is knowledge. Knowledge is okay. Knowledge is again of 2 types, old and new. Everything we have only this concept of old and new, existing and new. We have existing knowledge as of now, which is known to the community, or at least the scientific community. What is the existing knowledge so far? And what is the new knowledge that we are going to add to the existing knowledge makes the total knowledge, existing and new knowledge. Then what is the difference between knowledge and education? Government of India has not made a knowledge policy. It has only made a education policy, whether it is in 1986 or much before that also there was a policy, and now we are into 2019 education policy. What is the difference between knowledge and education? Knowledge is a content. Education is the way, the process, how we impart the knowledge to the students or to the knowledge seekers is education. I also add a word know-how. There is knowledge, there is know-how. What is the difference between the knowledge and the know-how? Again, I am of the opinion, knowledge is in between theory, conceptual level, know-how is technical. How do you practically implement it, do it, and reap benefit out of it is the know-how. Know-how is technical. Knowledge is theory, science, based on concepts and theorems. So that way we have knowledge, education, and all these things. Then there is one more thing, skill. What is skill? Knowledge is there, skill is there. Technology is also there. Even if the technology is there, the skill is to handle the technology is the skill. Or there is a process. Process is set to handle the process is the skill. Science is uniform. Technology is uniform in the sense everybody can read, can learn. Read and listen and learn. Reading and listening are the only two inputs that we have. Listen to teachers, read to books, and you gain the knowledge. But to implement the knowledge, implementing the same level of know-how and the knowledge, person A does in a level, in a magnitude, person B does in a totally different plane and magnitude. That is the skill of an individual that differentiates the expertise or the speciality of each skilled person to other skilled person, though both of them are skilled or all of them are skilled. So this is one thing we need to understand. I was deviating bit and talking about all these things in this word, multidisciplinary approach. I was dealing with that. We have various disciplines. For example, physics we have, chemistry we have. There is a cross discipline. We have something like physical chemistry. And now physics is there. Geology is there. I was a student of MSc Geophysics for some time. Physics applies to geology. All these things we say multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary. We have not made much progress of this interdisciplinary team. That also we sometimes say, but that kind of collaboration between the various branches of the sciences and technologies, so that further invention will be on a very exponential rate of growth, leveraging on each of the branch of science, the progress made. When these interdisciplinary teams work more effectively in more collaborative spirit, the progress of invention and science could be much faster than what it is now. This is a one thing which we need to pay a little attention. We, in the sense, the people concerned, the scientists, the inventors, and the people at the helm of affairs, and those who market this or promote this or motivate these activities. And one more thing, in the new concept, I was telling 4 stages, and this 10 plus 2 is replaced by 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4. What is this 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4? One is in the age group of 3 to 6 years. It's a preparatory, 3 to 6 years. Then we have 6 to 8 years, classes 1 and 2, which is a little primary. Then middle school we have from the age 11 to 14, classes 6 to 8 is middle. And then high school, classes 9 to 12 in the age group of 11 to 14. Then high school from classes 9 to 12 in the age group of 11 to 14. Sorry if I miss this one. So 3 to 6 years is one thing, which is preschool. Then 6 to 8 years is one thing, classes 1 and 2, 11 to 14, other thing, classes 3 to 5. 6 to 8, 8 to 11 is classes 3 to 5. And class 6 to 8 is age 11 to 14. And age 14 to 18 is 14 to 18 is class 9 to 12. This is the thing. Then comes your college and university education. Here there is a core concept based education in this new education policy, and application of knowledge is the key thing. There's no point in acquiring any knowledge without working on the application of it. To that extent, any person who leaves with a certificate is ensured that he is leaving the institution after acquiring a certain skill set, which will fetch him a job, not only job, which provides him a scope to implement his skill, that gives a lot of satisfaction to him, along with fetching a job. Job gives money. Money is not all. Work satisfaction or job satisfaction, we say that is more important. Then this is more skill based than what was earlier. Earlier also, we have the concept of ITIs. There was a multi-purpose schools and workshop level, and we have finishing school concept and diploma engineering. All these things were there, but this is a little more enhanced to ensure that skill is immediately practicing simultaneously with acquiring of the knowledge. Earlier it was not so. Even if it's a laboratory sessions are there, they used to be once in a week or fortnight. That too only in advanced classes like class 11th, 10th onwards. Before that it was not there. When I am talking of lab, there is a provision made in this policy to have a virtual lab also. What is virtual lab? Digital lab, in the sense, without a real lab, on the screen itself, using the 3D effects, we can create a lab and show. Even in teaching also, using the technology, wherever some 3D figures are to be shown to explain even the basic science also, that technology is available to us. To what extent we are using at the educational institution, people, those who are attending or later will be listening, you need to check up for yourself to what extent the educational institutes at all levels, from the LKG to the PhD level, to what extent they are leveraging on technology, number one. On number two, on I told you a while ago, on interdisciplinary. What are the other branches of sciences that are relevant to my branch of science or technology I am doing? So these two plays a lot of role in implementing the know-how and taking it further. Then language and subject. We have two sets of teachers in the schools also, language teacher and a subject matter teacher. Language is related to culture, language, tradition. And when we speak a good language, whatever language, whether it is our own mother tongue or a different Indian language or a foreign language, the level of language what we practice and speak, it gives an immense joy for us when we use certain beautiful words of the language. This is one thing. But technology has overtaken the language to such an extent that we forgot the beauty inbuilt, incipient beauty in the language, and just we use the language to the minimum words to convey our idea. Here, my point of telling is that though we are fully engrossed into science and technology, still we should be an art lover. There are two types of arts, fine arts and performing arts. We need to take a break and spend some time to regenerate ourselves, to relax ourselves by listening to good music. If we cannot sing, okay. If we can sing, even at a low level, humming sounds, bathroom singing, whatever. And whatever fine arts we have, some drawing, some painting, some sketching, that we need to do at our leisure times, though that is not our regular main occupation even then. Even if we could not do that, good at a good painting and enjoy. Good to listen to good music and enjoy. If we spend about 10 minutes every day morning to listening a good music, and also while sleeping, keep on your music system in sleep mode, after a time of 10 or 15 minutes, the kind of enjoyment and the regeneration you get to work for the entire day will be vastly different. I was talking about the language. Now, in the new education policy, there is a recommendation. Why I am saying this word recommendation? Because the education is a conquering list. Central government also does some work. spend some money in promoting education. And at the same time, various state governments also do that. So now they have recommended that up to class 5, the education should be in the mother tongue. I will share a little small example of mine, but that cannot and need not be generalized. My age is 70. On a humorous note, I used to introduce myself as Mohan 70 not. That's a different thing. It's not in our hands. It's like playing cricket. One can be out in the for no score at all, and one can do century. It's a different question. In cricket, we score more than century. In life also, there are few people who score more than a century. I was up to the age of my 8 years in a rural background. It is very important. We should not forget rural India, even if we are born and brought up in urban areas. Even if you are born and brought up in urban areas, take some time, go to rural areas and find out what rural India is there. Rural India is also undergone a lot of change. When I said my age is 70 and up to the age of 8, I was in rural areas. The rural India, what was it before 50 is different now. To this end, we have a scheme formulated by late Abdul Kalam, APJ Abdul Kalam, earlier President of India. A scheme called PURA, P-U-R-E, providing urban facilities in rural area. The idea is to arrest the migration from rural areas to urban areas by providing all the amenities that are available in the urban areas, also in rural areas. Maybe the scheme is still in force. To a certain extent, it might have served the purpose. But still, in any country, this division is always there, will continue to be there always, rural and urban. So, coming to mother tongue back again, up to class 5, I was telling my share of experience. Up to class 5, I did not go to a formal school. We are talking about the preschool side right from the age of 3. Up to the age of 8, I never went to any school. And all of a sudden, my late father, he came to Hyderabad, found a job for himself and put me in straight away in Vivekavardhani High School. Those who are familiar with Hyderabad, those days it was one of the prominent English medium schools. It's a Marathi educational society. In class 6. And I studied in English medium from class 6 to class 9, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 years. That has helped me to have a good footage in English. My father, he was a good scholar in Telugu and Sanskrit. Because of that, at home, I made some inroad into the language culture part of it. I am quite comfortable in Telugu. To a fair extent, I can understand Sanskrit. 80% of the Sanskrit, when anywhere a scholar speaks, delivers a session, I can understand. Though I may not be able to speak. Hindi, I am quite comfortable. When it comes to language, I always keep promoting 5 languages to any Indian citizen. One is Sanskrit, Samskrutam. To be very clearly spell it, Samskrutam. If we know Sanskrit, learning any other Indian language or any language across the globe, any foreign language, is also quite comfortable. In a lesser time, you can acquire that knowledge. In relation to if you attempt to learn that language without learning Sanskrit, whatever time you take, within 50% of the time, you can learn that language if you initially learn Sanskrit. That is one. Number 2, international language, English. Whether you like English or do not like English, you means, including me, we should know English. Then the third one is Hindi, which we see a link language in India. Many of the states speak Hindi in India. So Hindi we should know. The 4th is your mother tongue. We should never forget our motherland and mother tongue wherever you are. Even if you are a citizen of other country, but a native or origin of India, you should never forget Mother India. Similarly, mother tongue. And the 5th one is a local language wherever you are currently residing. and you bound to reside there another 5 years or 6 years. Whether in a foreign country, Japan, if you are there, no Japanese. If you are in Germany, no Germany. Within India, if you are from Telugu speaking area, Telangana or Andhra, your mother tongue is Telugu. If you go to Bombay, learn Marathi. So this is the 5 language formula which share with all of you. I am putting my ideas, some of my ideas here along with the new education policy. And also I will come to this importance of education, research and training in one slide. I am sharing these ideas that those who are listening and listen later, in your capacity or the position you hold in the community, in the society, or in the government, you take it further for the right implementation of these things. This is about this medium of instruction should be mother tongue up to class 5. It does not mean that thereafter it need not be in mother tongue. It can be. It is up to the concerned state bank, concerned state government. But my share of thought with the parents is that irrespective of whatever medium of instruction your ward is into, you ensure that your ward is acquainted with these 5 languages at the earliest point of time in life, say within 10 years approximately. Wherever you stay, regional, local language, that's a different question, but at least these 4 languages one should know. Sanskrit, English, and Hindi, and the mother tongue. 5th, at a later time, whenever you are shifting your place to a different place, a person from Hyderabad goes to Tamil Nadu, learn Tamil. Then one more thing in the new education policy is that they are going to issue a holistic progress card, 360 degrees. What does this 360 degrees means? Academic and non-academic, which we say curricular activities, and extracurricular or co-curricular we say. Now they are combining everything. Now in the new educational policy, co-curricular activities are merged with the curricular activities, no separate co-curricular activities as such. They are merged into one. And this 360 degrees holistic progress card. Here I have one more share of thought to share with you, that when a person is born in our country, the government should create a digital file. This is my own idea I'm sharing with you, a digital file. And in the file, all milestone achievements, not only achievements, happening should be recorded into it, relating to his career, educational studies, his health profile, and his behavior. All those things should be recorded by the concerned authorities, and the file should run till his lifetime. This is an idea. Whether it is possible to do it or not, what we say viability and the feasibility is a different matter to study. If feasible, I think that would help. That would help and find out the criminals also. Who is a gentleman? A person comes with a neatly dressed like me with a tie and other things, he may not be a gentleman. I am fairly a gentleman, but whatever. So that kind of thing is lacking, and if this procedure is followed, it will be useful for the police also to do their job more comfortability. They are also leveraging on technology these days. Now this is one thing, and then virtual labs that I tell you. One more important point here is that the vocational education starts from class 6 itself, and by the time he leaves the high school or whatever this one, he is equipped with certain vocational skills, whereby petty jobs they can find out if they are unable to continue their higher education at the college and university level. When it comes to degree course also, 4 years degree, they say if you stop at first year, still you will be given a certificate of completion for first year. If you break after second year, you will be given awarded with a diploma. If you complete 3 years, you will be given a degree. If you complete 4 years, you will be given a honors degree. One more beauty is that easy or free entry and exit. You can enter the education, do some course, take a break. Particularly, this is going to be useful to ladies, housewives. You can take a break of 2-3 years and come back again. One more point is that discrimination between the art and science is removed. Only there is something like credits. You have to take so many number of credits. Selecting from art, science, technology, management, risk management, whatever the subjects are available as of now across the world or across in our country, where the universities are able to offer them. Out of them, you can select any credits of your choice. This is one beauty in this policy. And then MPhil, we used to have a pre-PhD degree in the form of MPhil. MPhil is done away with. For those who are as old or little close to my age, you must be knowing that MPhil was not there in the beginning. It was only directly PhD. It was introduced later MPhil. Now it is done away with. These are the certain important broad aspects of new education policy. And one more thing is that at a mandal, taluk, or a particular cluster point, they want to construct higher educational complex or clusters where some common facilities which can be acquired, utilized by the educational institutions around that complex within a spanning a radius of say about 30 kilometers, that will be useful to them. This is another projection in the educational policy. But in the part 4, as it was told, making it happen, it depends upon the implementing state governments and also autonomous educational institutions. Why autonomous? Because they have their own way. If they are interested, they can do it in a better way, motivated by this educational policy. I will now slightly speak something on this oil rate as an acronym. I was telling importance of education, training, and research in one's life, means in the everybody life. Now, according to one classification, we can classify people into 2 categories: literates, and illiterate. Earlier, we were of the opinion that illiterate person means a person who cannot read, write, make his own signature. That was the definition of illiteracy. Now, it's not enough. Digital illiteracy. Many of the so-called alpha literates. When I say alpha literate, you can read, write, and understand. That is the, alpha literacy. But many alpha literates are digitally illiterate. We handle smartphones, but we do not know the 100% of the features the smartphone has and provides to us. We make a WhatsApp call or we make a video call, only limited these things. So digital literacy and illiteracy. And then numerical illiteracy. Many people are poor in calculations, arithmetic. Even for 5 plus 11, they can't immediately say 16. They take help of a calculator. Technology should be there, but over dependence of technology, it goes in a mechanical way. You don't get that internal joy, satisfaction when you enjoy certain things by doing yourself. Technology is never primary. It is only science, technology, everything is secondary. What is primary? This Panchabhutas, what the infrastructure, the universe, or the nature, or the God, or the Almighty, whatever you name, has provided for the initial primary level of existence is the primary thing. Like air, water, food, without which we cannot live for certain seconds, minutes, days. All these things, because of the human intelligence, we have developed not on primary, but on secondary and tertiary things. They are also required, but they are not the prime or the basic necessities for life. but they are definitely useful to have a better, more and more comfortable life from day to day. That we should not ignore. That is also there, but not at the cost of the primary things. Means, to just say example, you don't have to spoil your health and go to the hospital because the hospital facility and the specialist doctors are available does not mean that you spoil your health. Like that, you can apply to any this thing. One more thing I would like to share with you, that one is common sense. Ultimately, it is only the common sense that rules. It is only common sense that helps a person to come up in life or drop himself down or ruin himself in life. But what is the level of common sense a person has? He has to check for himself. I do not know whether there are any tests available to IQ tests are there, but I don't know whether the common sense can be of a person can be checked. But we can check our common sense, whatever it is there. Second is the common knowledge. First is common sense. Second is common knowledge, in the sense you should have the latest information of what is the happening, ongoing across the world. And as far as you are concerned, how you can leverage which facility in which country is useful to you, and how you can access it. To know that, you need to have a lot of general knowledge, or that is otherwise common knowledge.
Not audible, sir. Not audible, sir. Audibility gone.
You're gone mute, sir. You're gone mute.
Audio is not coming, sir.
Significant subject, very important and relating to anybody's life. We need to ponder over this. We need to ponder over these things.
I would like to know. What is the present status? What is the present status of policy within the? One second, sir.
Mohan, the teachers here.
I would like
university level teachers. I mean, primary teacher to university professors. Question is, I am not questioning in any way. I am just sharing a thought. Teaching community. How many of you are fully acquired, fully what you call comfortable with the new educational policy? You've gone through the new educational policy, 66 pages document. How many of you have read? How many of you read any? How many number of times? At least 4 or 5 times. Imbibed everything into you. And how you validate it with respect to your own experience as teacher. I am also a part-time teacher. I was a part-time teacher in the sense that when I was working in Indian Bank, I was 4 years in the training system of the bank. It's not a college or the university education, but it's a employees training college. Post-retirement 2013, I happened to be a faculty in banking, management, and out of my passion, I'm a life skills related trainer or faculty, guest faculty, that is the thing. So literacy, illiteracy, numeracy, lack of numeracy, digital illiteracy, all these things. Otherwise, in single way, stay updated. Every person needs to be stay updated in his life. How do you stay updated? When your baby is born, male or female, up to 5 years, parents enjoy with the child. Whether the child is enjoying with the parents or no, it's a one-way communication, we do not know, but definitely parents and the neighbors and the relatives enjoy with the child. That is 0 to 5 years is over. Then 6 to 12, child begins to realize itself about him or her. And the dependency of the parents slightly reduces part by part. Maybe in the 6th year, some 10% dependency is reduced. In the next year, another 10%, 20%, like that. From 6 to 12 years, slowly, the child present implementation of NEP, I will answer this. Karnataka is the first state to implement NEP. But This is spanning right from preparatory preschool level to university education. So for the entire stretch to be under a new education policy, it takes its own time. And then there are certain constraints or challenges, something like financial. Our Government of India budget on education is approximately 1 lakh of crores. 1 lakh crores is the budget of the Government of India on education. Per capita wise, we have to divide by our population. Per capita means per head. Is it sufficient? Number one. There are certain non-financial challenges also. I will come to that. But state-wise, Madhya Pradesh is the second state to implement, and now Uttar Pradesh is also geared up to do it. But the government of India says, I think I was telling you in the beginning, by July 2022, all the states across the country should be in full swing to implement this new education policy. The key things are, up to class 5, you have to explain in medium of instruction should be in mother tongue. So with this happens, what happens? The artistic, the language, the culture is protected, saved. Later you can shift to, shift to English. But my personal share of thought is that whether you do your entire education up to college in your local media, Telugu, English, Hindi, not English, Telugu, Hindi, Marathi, whatever, English with additional interest one has to learn, and that is not difficult at all. Out of my experience, having studied 6 to 9 English medium and 10 to 12 in Telugu medium, later again graduation and PG in English medium. Nothing is impossible. Only thing is that we need to have some commitment and some discipline, and having a lot of uptime in acquiring some sort of language skills. Why language is important more than the subject? It means to express you need language. Particularly teaching community should have a lot of expressive power. I have come across during my studentship, right from class 6 to PG, many teachers, though they have the stuff inside, they cannot deliver. It is not their mistake. But we don't have a teacher recruitment policy. I'm sorry to share. We have an education policy. We don't have a knowledge policy. We don't have a teacher recruitment policy. We conduct one test and throw it. If you pass the test, it's okay. So there are certain lacunae which the government has correct. There are certain lacunae which the community, local community or the society has to correct. Ultimately, one has to be truthful to himself. When you can't deliver, what is the duty of a teacher? Teacher on a regular basis every day has to prepare for the next day's session. Even if he is teaching that subject for the last 10-15 years, again he has to prepare to ensure that each day his delivery mechanism of imparting the same subject is improving. This is not happening at the required level. I'm not finding fault with anybody. If you cannot teach, you take up some other job for the livelihood. Teaching should be a passion. For example, any profession should be passionate. Unless you are passionate of the profession, just because the salary, because this job gets me more salary, we should not be into that. Okay, I was talking about the age of 6 to 12. Then from teens, 13 to 19, at the age of 18, we become majors where we take control of ourselves. We know what is good, what is bad at the age of 18. If not 100%, but to fair extent. If you reverse the number 18, you get the 81. I mean to say, any male or female, if you take charge of your life at the age of 18 years, when you are legally a major and are responsible for your good and bad deeds, you have 63 years of left out life. Why I am putting it 81? To easily remember that if you reverse 18, you will get 81. And you should commit to your health that you are physically and mentally you will be healthy without going to the sick bed, only sleeping bed up to the age of 81. 81, after 81, let us see kya hoga.
So, Mohan, shall we enter into the question and answer session?
You should only take up to the age of 81, no giving up at any point of time. So the preparatory work for a child, for a male or female, by attains the age of 18, that task is with the parents basically, next with the teachers. Higher education, let us have a wonderful, sir. So with this, I will just wind up in 2 minutes, concluding that importance of education. Yeah, Anpad Gavaran, we say in Hindi. We should not be addressed by anybody like that. We should be like that. Education is very important. I say Mike, M-Y-K-E, again a short form. Make knowledge your edge. Make knowledge your edge. E-D-G-G. Cutting edge. Ultimately, otherwise we say USP. Unique selling proposition. You should have something to boast of you. Make knowledge that one. Whatever way of knowledge, there are various fields of knowledge. You select one, that knowledge. If you want to be a teacher, you should be an educator. You should have that education skill. What is education? Education is the art of imparting the knowledge to each of the students of his students. In a class, if there are 50 students also, the teacher should ensure that the dullest student of the class is understanding what you say to 100%. So with this broadly, I stop here. I will take up some questions here. I am of the firm opinion that by conversing, question answers means it's not that you do not know, I would know. I do not mean that one. But it's a dialogue, it's a deliberation, it's a conversation, whereby some more inputs also all of us can have. So thank you here, and I am open to any questions by any of you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, sir. So I request all many educators, my educationists must be here in the group. I request them to give their questions to the speaker. He will answer. And before that, I would like to just give a brief that the education policy, once it is given by the government, the agencies that are to implement are management, state governments, and as well as the school managements, and then to be understood by the parents and to be updated by the teachers. So they to update themselves. Teachers should update themselves to their policy. And then the students should understand also what is his future, what is his goals. So the agencies that are involved are management, parents, teachers, and students, and state governments and central governments. So what are the each man's role, person's role in these things, that is to be properly understood. Under the new education policy, how these things are being given opportunities for these people, what are they are supposed to know, what management is supposed to know, what parents are supposed to know, what the teachers are supposed to know, and what state governments are supposed to know, and what state governments are doing, what are the problems for them to do, whether the textbooks are being ready or not, whether the textbooks are central textbooks are being with state government only, or state government textbooks will be different. Naturally, they will be different because language will be different. Local books will be different. So whether they are geared up, what is the status? Whether what is going on in Telugu states, whether they are geared up, are doing anything like that on these issues, and what are the directions given by central government to the state governments for doing these things by July 22. What state government, central government has done. If I want to admit my kid in Hyderabad in central government new education policy, what should I do as a parent? These are the important, different questions. A management will have what he is supposed to update his school. A parent will have where should he approach for admitting his kid, what he should know, and teachers should know what type of trainings he should get to get into the new education policy method of teaching. So in this respect, what has been done? So in these lines, please ask questions, and let us get the answers or let us discuss on those topics to understand better on new education policy implementation. Status, present status. What is the present status? Please go ahead. Anybody? If no questions are there, then Mohan sir,
Yeah.
Mohan sir, please answer
Yes.
my questions now. What
Yes,
management is supposed to know? Yeah,
Yeah.
please.
Yes, sir. See, as our learned speaker has told, this learned management should be there from top to bottom. Now in our system, there is a totally delinked system. Somebody, he comes through the government schools and colleges, somebody who comes from NITs and all, then like this, there are multiple ways of people getting this thing. Suppose now government has already agreed that it will be in the mother tongue only. IAS examination also should be written in their mother tongue. Otherwise, they cannot express their. In such case, there should be a provision that students from one state should be employed by the state, and that employment problem should be seen by the state, and only those who pass the overall test for central services will go to central services. Otherwise, we are going to have a havoc in the education system. The change in system itself is a big sluggish one, because average students that are attending colleges, they are alpha literate, but in no way better than the literate. The farmer knows more about his trade, farming. He has learned from his father. He sees around in the village. If you put him in the agricultural institute, I don't think that a PhD can be competing with the person who is actually doing the agriculture in, like that in every technology. These regional languages and regional writing of examinations in region and all these things is going to give a very big problem. And there will be a political imbalance of states. Are we first prepared to take up those risks and solve online? Is the structure of the central government already planned that anticipated these are the problems coming into the education system? Because I was with the education system from my childhood, and also as a principal and a professor in engineering colleges and MBA colleges, there is a lot of, because most of the MBAs, they don't do much of serious job. There are fixed rules, HR rules, company frames it. This HR fellow is just a buffer. It doesn't really given a scope to manage anything whatsoever, except his work. So, I mean, is it necessary that we should have a management faculty at all, or it should be a co-curriculum for a person who is going up? Like when
What
we
is your
did our,
question? What is your question, sir?
sir, this new system, the new system itself is, am I audible, sir?
Yeah,
Yeah,
please. I want to raise a question, and that should be properly discussed.
The question is like this, sir. What I try to put my problem is, already each state wants to conduct IAS examination in their own languages. So a lot of the nuisance and nonsense going on. Then there will be nobody in this earth who can compare two students, whether they are
okay,
equal.
but we are discussing about new education policy and its status now. So let us concentrate on that. What is the education policy states about that? Do you know anything on that subject? What you are talking? What is new education policy says about that?
Education policy is good, sir, but putting it on a time scale of implementation seems to be
Okay,
leading.
you are given a question now. Mohan garu, మీరు చెప్పండి, what is his answer for these questions?
Sir, the speaker himself is a retired principal. He is in the education system. I understand your concerns, but here the point is that I am focusing certain things from the individual's point of view. In any country, I am talking about the India, all Indians and their parents should work towards that. I mean, this the challenge is war, that is the son or daughter, they are coming up. To that, my personal own belief system says that, as I said, we should be conservant with these 5 languages. We need not be at the mercy, you allow me to write your IAS examination in my mother tongue. We need to be at least mother tongue, Hindi and English. Leave Sanskritam and a foreign language or a regional language where you are staying, they may take a little these things. Sanskrit I am only promoting for the simple reason that the root words are plenty in Sanskrit. If you know the Sanskrit vocabulary, learning any other language would become useful. The point is that the nation's development, any national development only will happen through the individual's development. And how the individual develops, as I told you a while ago, the parents should help the child up to the age of 18, 20, 25 years, whatever, till his higher education, all moral, economic and non-economic support. Thereafter, from the age of 18, and also when they stand themselves, they have to manage themselves. And sir was
Right, sir.
telling about something like the management also.
Okay, now we are going
our profession
now,
is of the
Right, sir. Then
management.
one
Mohan
problem
sir.
is
Overall
coming.
thing, there is no any
Wha-
specific knowledge
Hello.
in management. How do we do qualitative work is the management, sir. I have nothing to say much.
Excuse me,
I mean, I endorse whatever concerns you told it. My point is that, my point of approach is that one has to struggle and swim against the challenges and come up in life. And at least 80% of the Indians should do that. 20% you leave, some margin we should. But
What will you do with the reservations, sir?
About 80% are.
sir, please let's not get deviate.
All
Please let us
whatever
not
it
get deviate from subject.
Right, sir?
My
Thank
idea
you.
of my sir, 1 second,
First-
sir. My
first
idea
thing,
of
sir.
conducting 1 second, sir. Please hold me.
Yes, sir.
The idea of conducting this seminar is to know the present status of new education policy and its implementation. What
Right, sir.
is the actual education policy? We are not discussing the issues here. We are understanding what is the present condition of the education policy and what management should know about it, school management should know about it, what parents should know about it, what the teachers should know about it, what is the state government should know about it. That is what is the topic to be discussed here. Not
First,
to
sir,
be. So
then let
I
us
would like
come
to
to
know
that, sir.
more. I would like to know anybody knows about those things. Please let us discuss those things.
Yes, sir. I can
I'm not
discuss
aware.
that.
I'm not aware of what new education policy is taking. Whether the government is ready with the books, whether central government is ready with the books, whether state government is ready with the books.
Input, sir. Books, textbooks. Generally, they come in the end of the year in the school and preschool stage. That's why they buy ICSC books and which are published by many colleges and schools. They use foreign published books because our education system doesn't make available the books.
ఏమైందా ఏమైనా చెప్పానా నేను ఏమైనా చెప్పిండా సరే సరే
At least the teacher should have 1 year before textbook in what he is going to teach in the next class. Can we do it before June? Are we ready? If that is okay, then okay, we will take the trouble while steering. The driver should know how to steer. Any problem is there. So books must be available at least 1 year before the teacher, because he has to make a teaching policy for himself, knowing the children of that class, how to get the transformation. So unless the teacher gets the books 1 year before, it will be very difficult for the education system, new education system, to take off.
Mohan garu, what is your opinion on this? whether the books are ready.
Sir,
No, Mohan, I am asking the Mohan, sir. If the books
Sir,
are ready, sir.
He can't
Ram
hear.
Mohan, sir.
No. He is hearing less. So
Ram Mohan Garu, do you have an idea about the availability of the books?
Availability of, I can only say one thing that in higher education, for college level education, so particularly science and technology, to find an equivalent word in the local language is a difficult thing. Though state level academies like in we have Telugu Academy in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and similarly all states may be having. To some extent we can translate, but I go up and up, it is difficult. At the same time, there are countries, those who do not speak English and still made a advancement in their science and technology, that also we are seeing. So the people, those who are good at language and good at science, technology, to some extent, at my level, I am comfortable with both the technical words and the regular routine words. But many people should come forward to translate these words into local, particularly science and technology matters into.
Sir,
based on
Mohan,
that.
sir,
I
the
think there's a
question
depth
is,
in it.
sir, Mohan, sir, the
there's a
question, sir,
shortcoming.
Mohan, sir, the question is whether the books are ready by the government. Central government
No,
has
sir,
kept the books
not
ready.
yet.
Then how they can expect the state governments to implement that?
No, the state governments also can make arrangements to get the books translated. It is a little long term.
అరే మోహన్ గారు ఎంత సార్ మీరు అర్థం చేసుకోవట్లేదు మెయిన్ పాయింట్ అర్థం చేసుకోకుండా మీరు మీకు తెలిసినటువంటి ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ మీరు ఇస్తుందా తప్ప మీరు క్వశ్చన్ అంటే అర్థం చేసుకోవట్లేదు వాట్ ఈస్ ద
Oh, so as you said, the Ram Mohan Garu, as you said, the books are not ready as such.
Even intermediate level also books are available. Science books are available in local language. I am talking beyond that. Even in degree level, already we have certain science books in the local language. Already they are there. So
No,
I
no,
did not get what is the specific question.
The
In new
implementation,
education policy, no new knowledge is going to come. It is not a knowledge policy. I told you, it's an education policy. How do we impart the education of the existing or the being added knowledge? So this question is
right, sir. Right, sir.
I mean,
Right,
it's
sir.
critical.
So we need, for example, 5 primary level books are there. Whether
Yes.
same books are to be used, whatever being used earlier.
Yes, unless there is a change in the subject curriculum, there is a national curriculum framework, all those things are there, they will come one by one, in my opinion. As long as the syllabus is not changed either by the state government or the central government, the same books will continue. Only the method will go. Method will change in the sense up to class 5, state governments to ensure that medium of instruction is Telugu, no more English up to class 5. How many state governments are ready for this, accept this is another thing at the implementation level.
So the managements are free to adopt their books.
Management, what happens is, unluckily, sir, education is also much in private hands. Though government is going in the Gurukul Pathshalas, that machine, this machine, Kasturba, all those things are there, but majority of the education is in the private hands and they charge exorbitant fees and they have their own, they have many boards in the country. CBSE is there, IBSE is there, and IBC international boards are also there, for which Indian school also. All many things are there. Slowly a sort of standardization need to come. My own point here, sir, apart from NEP, can anybody can access and thoroughly go through the 60 pages document. It's an open document. There is nothing, to deliberate much. My concern is that as an individual parent and the student, whether it's a NEP or a world education policy, old is gone, new education policy, independent of that, irrespective of that, how we can prosper ourselves in the education. I am addressing from that point of concern, sir.
Okay.
Okay, sir, any point and question I will be able to. clarify. Question should be pointed one. The question should not
okay.
itself be sharing the
Okay.
thought, okay, fine, that is welcome. But the question should be a line or two only.
Ram Mohan Garu,
Sir,
there is a question in the chat.
ah,
Can you answer it from Naveen Kumar?
నవీన్ కుమార్ గారు అన్నారు, మీరు ఒక్కసారి చెప్తారా సార్? ఆ అర్థం నాకు లాంగ్వేజ్ అర్థం కాలేదు. వారి ప్రశ్న మీరు నాకు అనువదించి చెప్పగలరా? తెలుగులో కానీ ఇంగ్లీష్ లో కానీ? ఒక్కొక్కసారి ఇంగ్లీష్ టు ఇంగ్లీష్ ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ కూడా కావాలి, తెలుగు ట్రాన్స్లేషన్ కూడా
Okay.
కావాలి అంటున్నా నేను.
Okay, the question is demughalizing part of the agent, is it a part of the agenda of NEP? Or that
నేను ఆ క్వశ్చన్ చూశాను. I am not into that. I am not into political aspect of it. My point is that as an individual, there is a NEP, there is an individual student and his parents are there. ఈ మూడిటితోనే కలయికతోనే how we can improve, develop ourselves and our point. అది demughalism, Macaulay అంటారు, Macaulay education, all those things are secondary, sir. I am neither for them or against them. But for all these days, how we allowed those the history which is not real or whatever allowed to be there, that makes no relevance. That is my point.
Okay.
Any country, Mughals invaded us, later Britishers, okay, that era is gone. Britishers went away because they came in small numbers. Mughals are still there in the form of Mohammedans because they are large in numbers. Now we cannot drive them out. Only thing what we can do is that we have to achieve a national consensus, irrespective of one's religion or whatever. The nationalistic spirit should be first. This we should have a dialogue and ensure to that end that India first, my nation first, all things next.
Yeah,
that
let me answer that question,
So
Babu.
there's no point in
The
taking
new
that
education,
question.
one second.
With all due regards to Naveen
One
Kumar.
second, Mohan Garu, one second.
Sir.
I got an answer for that, for the purpose of all the members here.
Okay.
New education policy has taken up, central government has taken up the implementation schedule, and textbooks are under preparation. NCERT textbooks are under preparation. And whatever the question is asked by Naveen Kumar, that is being addressed by NCERT in their textbooks modifications. And those books are supposed to be used for the new education policy.
Okay.
So that books are still under preparation, I think. I hope whether they are ready or not, we don't know. Still, that question I wanted to address.
Right, sir.
So
okay.
that is one thing. That is one thing. So NCERT is already working on that. They are a team. They called for the recommendations also. We also, Veda Samskruti also has given the recommendations. What are to be taken care of in the new textbooks. And the work is going on. It is
fine.
How to modify these things are going, how far that status, that's what we would like to know. Anything you got an idea, that is okay. If you don't have an idea, let us leave it.
I have a point to share. I have a point to share here, sir.
Yeah, please.
It's a common sharing. For example,
please.
physics. Example wise, I am telling. In physics, there are many topics. You take acoustics, sound. There are innumerable books in the market spread written by various authors. My submission to new education policy and the NCERT is that on a particular topic, there should be only one book vetted by the band of experts in the subject, and no other book should be allowed to come into the market to avoid the confusion among the parents, teachers, and the students which book to be bought. I think I am clear. Otherwise, I will repeat again. On a particular topic,
you are also giving a suggestion. We are asking now what is the government, how far the government has come in doing these things.
Suggestion, sir. It's a concern. It's a concern.
Okay,
not
the
a
concern.
suggestion.
See, everyone is having a concern here.
Okay.
So what is the government is doing on this? That's what we would like to know.
Share this concern? Do anybody accept with my concern that
yes, accepted.
On a particular topic, subject to several others, right? Several books, sir. Like there are so many bhashas for Bhagavad Gita. What for? Shankara Bhashyan is enough. Unless you add a more value to the content, if what is written by the earlier author, you don't have a moral right to just publish and release a book in the market, confusing the students. This is my concern. If you take the concern, let people take.
Yeah, concern is okay. Concern is there, that is to be addressed. That is,
Ah.
everybody agrees.
But
But
anybody
what
is addressing
government,
it?
what is government is doing on this? Has it taken any step on this direction? That is the
Yes,
question
sir.
now.
Sir, ఇప్పుడు మీరు you are sending certain recommendations to government. You can send this also, that only one quality standard book on any one subject should be released, not multiple books. You don't have control at the government level on this. Any private publisher, he can publish any book he wants. Any other can write with his half knowledge any book. That is spoiling the students, even teachers.
Okay. Any other question, please? These questions have been addressed to that extent. And as far as I know, the NCRT is developing some books, and they are come out or not, still I'm not aware. So that is to be, we should find out those details. We should get more information on the NCRT and other central government agencies, what they have done on these issues. And the state government, how far they are in the mood to implement these things and how far they have done, we should know. So these are the things. With these informations, we should probably we may have to have another session on this issue, by knowing what is actually happening in central government on implementation of these things, and what is actually happening in state government in implementation of these things. What is the management, school managements are supposed to know, and how they should gear it up for new education policy. What parents should have an idea about the new education policy, and still that is probably in confusion, as I think, because I don't see any public platforms discussing this topic, and there's no media channels or anybody is working on these things to educate the common man, educate the managements, educate the students on the new education policy. That is to be thought of. Prahlad Kumar, you have entered, but thank you. Welcome, sir. Can you give your ideas, sir, please? Please.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Just now, the one gentleman was saying there should be only one textbook, and other textbooks should be discouraged or as part of NEP on different subjects. But if you stick to that, in Rig Veda itself, about Ashwini Devatas, there are about 40 to 50 suktas described, let us say, drashta, of which were so many different rishis. They went on describing same pursuits, same achievements of Ashwini Devatas in different suktas. And if you say there should be only one text or only one sukta, only one author should be allowed to write a book, that will not be possible, because the same achievements of Ashwini Devatas were sung by.
I'm not confident, sir.
I'm sorry. Please listen to me.
Mohan garu, Mohan garu, Prahlad Kumar garu is a retired professor from Usmania University in physics department.
Okay.
Let him speak
and honor him
first. Yeah, let him speak first.
But just I want to say that what I am not saying is final. It is only my expression of this thing. And by your experience, your word carries more weight than what I said.
No, it is not the question of carrying weight or carrying more weight or less weight. It is not the problem. When we say that there should be only one standard textbook, even in latest quantum textbooks or quantum mechanics also, in the last 30 years, at least 10 books have come with latest information and latest knowledge in quantum mechanics.
Then the remaining one can be discarded. The latest one, you should
discard it. You cannot discard it, because all the theories are to be proven. Most of the theories in astrophysics, they are not totally proved. Therefore, knowledge, when it keeps on growing and further, unlike physics, unlike sciences, whereas when we talk of history and other things, the interpretation of particular historian becomes a problem. Whether it is Romila Thapar or somebody else, or your some other, let us say, Arya Samaj author, or let us say communist author, or any other philosophically oriented authors or isms oriented authors, they give their colors to their particular version of the history. That is to be objected. But we cannot say that history cannot be, you cannot divest history of its original truths. For example, when we talk about, most of the people I have been listening, they are talking of Mughal invasion and British invasion and all that. But what happened to our history when Buddhists and Vedic people, they fought each other? Buddhism was actually resorted to most of tantric philosophies and tantric vamamargas, and they started hating Hinduism. Even Jainism resorted to tantric pujas. Therefore, when we talk of all those things, And when there is a deterioration, all over deterioration, you cannot think of that. And you have said one thing, Shankara Bhashya and Bhagavad Gita is the ultimate one. But if it is that is the only Bhashya of Brahma Sutras. Before Shankara, there were 21 Bhashyas, and after Shankara, there are another 7 Bhashyas. How can you say that the only one Shankara Bhashya is supreme? Therefore, we cannot attribute supremacy to any only one particular version of. Okay, sir.
Sir, I just shared my view. It is for anybody to take it or not take it. I have a lot of respect for you, for your age, and for your what you call professional this thing. నా పాయింట్ ఏమంటే సార్ 1 minute సార్ నా కన్సర్న్ దేని నుంచి అంటే మార్కెట్ లో ఏ మంచి పుస్తకము అని వెతుక్కోవడానికి వీళ్ళకి సెకండ్ టైం పోతే మీరు అన్న ప్రకారంగానే డిఫరెంట్ బుక్స్ లో డిఫరెంట్ లెవెల్స్ లో ఉన్నప్పుడు దేర్ ఆర్ బ్యాడ్ బుక్స్ అండ్ గుడ్ బుక్స్ ఆన్ ద సేమ్ సబ్జెక్ట్ అన్న కన్సర్న్ హౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ అడ్రస్డ్ ఆల్సో ఐ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ ఎ సొల్యూషన్ బికాస్ ఐ ఆమ్ నాట్ ఎట్ ద హెల్మ్ ఆఫ్ అఫైర్స్ పబ్లిషర్స్
అట్లాంటప్పుడు ఒకటి ఏమవుతుందంటే సమస్య ఏంటంటే ఏది మంచి పుస్తకము ఏది పనికిరాని పుస్తకం అని నిర్ణయించడానికి మళ్ళీ ఒక కమిటీ ఆఫ్ జడ్జెస్ కావాల్సి వస్తుంది.
ప్రతి దానికి ఉండాలి. నా పాయింట్ అదే, అంటే ఒక బుక్ మార్కెట్ లో రిలీజ్ ఇప్పుడు మీరు మీ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ చెప్తాను. మీరు ఫిజిక్స్ లో యూఆర్ ఎక్స్పర్ట్, యూ కెన్ బి ఆన్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద బోర్డ్ హూ వెలిడేట్స్ ద బుక్ వెదర్ ఇట్ కెన్ బి ఈ కంటెంట్ బాగుందా లేకపోతే యూ రెక్టిఫై కంటెంట్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఫైనల్ థింగ్ అనేసి దేర్ షుడ్ బి ఏజెన్సీ ఏ రెస్పాన్సిబుల్ బాడీ టు వెట్ ఇట్ and that only should be allowed. And again my concern and only my share of thought.
Sir, Mohan garu, let me submit.
sir.
Somebody else is talking. 1 second. Somebody else is talking. Some lady is talking.
నేనండి సార్
చెప్పండి.
కాదు అంటే స్కూల్ లెవెల్లో ఎనీవే ఓన్లీ వన్ టెక్స్ట్ బుక్ విల్ బి ప్రిస్క్రైబ్డ్ ఇన్ ద స్కూల్ లెవెల్, బట్ వైల్ developing and while coming to the degree level or master degree level, one standard of textbook may be recommended for the students, but many authors might be writing so many books on the same topics. There is nothing wrong to recommend the students to go through all the textbooks if time and energy permits, even to make them understand the topic perfectly. Because just as our honorable speaker of today said, Shankara Bhashya is enough. That is perfect, exact, right statement. Even then, regarding these commentaries on Upanishads or Bhashyas or anything, Jagadguru Sri Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada's Bhashya is the final. Even then, before Shankaracharya and after Shankaracharya, many Bhashyas came and people wrote because they all got very much interest, enthusiasm and knowledge regarding those topics. So people, the scholars, great learned people, they write the books. There is nothing wrong in because we need not or should not stop anybody or market loki raakuddu and andan lantidi we should never do.
We'll stop the topic there itself. We'll stop this topic there.
Can we stop? We cannot stop.
కాదండి, ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే కాలేజ్ లో మాస్టర్ లెవెల్ కి వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ ఇండియన్ ఫిలాసఫీయే ఉంది. ఇండియన్ ఫిలాసఫీ చెప్పేటప్పుడు ఎన్ని పుస్తకాలను ఆ చెప్పే ప్రొఫెసర్ ఎన్ని బుక్స్ చదివే ఉంటారు. అన్ని చదివిన దాంతో ఆయనకి అక్యుములేట్ అయిన నాలెడ్జ్ తో దట్ పర్సన్ వుడ్ బి టీచింగ్ అస్. అలా ప్రొఫెసర్ మనకి చెప్తూ ఉంటారు. ఆయన ఏం చెప్తారు అప్పుడు మనకి, చంద్రధర్ శర్మ రాసిన ఇండియన్ ఫిలాసఫీ చదవండి, జాదునాథ్ సింహ రాసిన బుక్ ఈజ్ వెరీ గుడ్, దాస్ గుప్తా రాసింది, తర్వాత సర్వేపల్లి రాధాకృష్ణన్ గారు రాసిన బుక్, తర్వాత అరవింద ఘోష్ రాసిన బుక్ అని ఎన్ని బుక్స్ ఉన్నాయో ఇండియన్ ఫిలాసఫీ మీద అవన్నీ చెప్తారు. ఆ బుక్స్ అన్ని
దీని మీద ఐఎమ్ నాట్ ఇంటు డిబేట్. ఓకే, నో అబ్సల్యూట్లీ నో ఇష్యూ ఫ్రమ్ మై సైడ్.
Okay, let us conclude this here. I would like to conclude on this. Please take my opinion. See, NCRT, NCS, we are talking about education policy now. So NCRT has got the specific textbooks prescribed for various classes. And similarly, SCRT, state government syllabus also, they have got specific books for specific classes. And similarly, and in all state government schools, they say you follow this textbook. And all central government schools says you follow this textbooks. That rules are already there. That books have been already described. Similarly, university levels, engineering colleges, etc., they prescribe some textbooks whenever they write a syllabus, they prescribe some textbooks based on their committee's recommendations. All private institutions also, they prescribe their textbooks based on their study. So now, all state governments will follow state government textbooks prescribed. All central government follow central government prescribed textbooks. All private institutions follow private textbooks. That doesn't make a bar for them to refer the other books. These are the books that are to be followed, and that are other things as a reference you can take as an extra reference. But the prescription of a subject for each subject, a book is already there. That system is going on. And now the present question is whether they have been properly modified to the and corrected, which was not being done all these days. Yes, that is being done by NCERT for the school level books. We are talking mostly NEP is mostly for school level. The primary level, from primary level, whether these things have been modified, whether these books have been created, whether these books are ready. That is the question now, and that's what status is still. I am also not sure whether the books are ready still. So another question, second question, Mr. Naveen Kumar, but work is going on, that much I know, because they have called us to give recommendations, and we have given the recommendations also. So that means work is going on. The modification work is going on to make the new textbooks for the school levels by NCERT. Similarly, SCERT also may be doing, state government people also may be doing it. But there's no information for me on that issue. The second question what Naveen Kumar has asked also important. Is teaching of the life skills essential to your livelihood? Yes, it is essential. The part of NEP, yes, it's a part of NEP. There's major portion NEP has mentioned about it. NEP has mentioned about the life skills, and Mohan Garu also informed that they are taking up all these things. By the time of coming out of the degree intermediate level, by 10th class level, the fellow will be skilled in one set, in one skill set, useful to him. Like that, the policy has been implemented. Probably in that direction is being done. And one more thing, important thing you should notice in NEP policy is, after completing the 12th class, when it comes to 13th class, the degree level, when it comes to the degree level, 13th year of education which completes is equal to ITI, and 14th year of application education, they will give certificate like that. It is another important thing, the degree level, when the person is working on degree level, 13th year completion, if you want to discontinue, you can discontinue and get an ITI certificate equivalent to that. If you want to discontinue, you can discontinue 14th year. He will get a diploma certificate. If you want to discontinue at 15th year, he can discuss at 15th class. That is, you will get a degree certificate. And up 16th only, you will be eligible for postgraduate level of course. For doing postgraduate level course, you will get 1 year course, postgraduate level. Whereas 15-year boy who got degree certificate, he has to do 2 years postgraduate course. That type of system is going to come. That's what I understood. So this type of education system, new education policy definitely has got a different line of thinking. How far that is being, as Mr. Mutgaru told, the textbooks are to be ready by 1 year before for the teacher to prepare for himself to teach the kid next year. And similarly, the books should be available for the printing. Printers should be available. They should sufficient advance. Say July, if you want to, if the central government says July, all state governments to implement in July, hardly 5 months is there. So books should be ready now in the market, or somewhere something should be available. No, as printing is going on, what is happening?
Already March translate through, sir. Only 4 months is there.
4 months there.
Only 4 months.
So how can you expect by July they will implement it? And no talk is being done on this issue at all. Anywhere, any channel, any TV channel, we are not finding any discussion on these issues. So,
sir, మన తెలంగాణ ఏపీలో there is no ఒక ఇంచు కూడా మూవ్ అవ్వలేదు నేను కనుక్కున్నంత వరకు. There is no any write up document, approach paper or anything towards this NEP in both these governments.
So that
is actually in states.
Next question comes. As Mr. Mohan Garu told, Karnataka has implemented. So what they have done? At least let us know that what they have done.
Yeah, that will be very much helpful. Yeah.
and MP told they have done it. What they have done, let us study on those issues and understand what they have done and what is to be done for our state in future. Or
No,
all India
MP
based, what is to be done. Let us
Not
discuss on that
MP, sir.
issues. I request the speakers or other veterans on this issue to know what is happening in Madhya Pradesh, what is happening in Karnataka, and let us arrange another discussion on NEP in future, and to know better and understand better on this present condition of the NEP policy, present status of NEP policy. As and date, I find this is still a subject to be discussed and to be understood. And
Yes,
we
sir.
could
Yes,
not come
yes.
to any conclusion on this issue. What is
Yeah.
present on present status of the
I can give one solution, sir, because it will be slowly implemented. First 2 classes, books should be given by email or e-copies free on the website, so that the college states are publishing books much cheaper and giving people at a subsidized rate to encourage education.
That is the latter part of it, Mutgaru. That is the latter part of it. The government itself has not taken up. Government itself is not taken up. We don't know whether the state boards have been reorganized based on these things. We don't know. There are so many things to be done. See, the whole board system itself, the board system should be changed.
System reorganization may be impossible, but the educational scheme is a special ladder, that's all. The number of years are less, compressed course. So
now 10th class examination. So 1 second.
The foundation we have to help. Foundation we have to help. First standard, second standard. Then they can give 3rd and 4th next year. Like that, it will grow. Books must be there.
What we should understand is education policy, certain major changes they have done. 10th class examination is not there now.
Yes,
so whether state government is following that?
They will follow in regional language only. It will be another problem.
No, there will be following. Don't expect something and say, what is the government doing now? What any order has come on that issue? No. As I did, no. Anybody knows it, please tell. In the meeting here, anybody know about these things?
No, sir.
What state government is?
Whatever information we have.
Whatever information on that?
Whatever information we have is only hearsay, because there is nothing on paper.
That's why.
Website.
Then let us keep it then. So anybody who has gotten some authentic information on this policy, they can expose to us, please.
Can we from our side write to NCRT?
That can be done. That can be done, sir. That can be done. That suggestion can be done. But I would like to know the status. I would like to know the status. That is the thing. That is the purpose of this. The purpose of the meeting is what is the status now at state level, at central level. That is the purpose of the meeting.
They will be getting the kick so that they can at least meet by June. Books will come, or they will give e-books early. The state will publish them for the students, as they are already doing.
No, that's not the correct answer. What I'm saying is, what is this present status in the government going on? Any idea anybody is having?
No, sir. No, sir. NCRT is doing books from my childhood, but nothing of NCRT is really seen in the market.
No, sir, it's not like that. NCRT books are being used for CBSE and ICSE syllabus. So that is not the correct answer. NCRT books are being used for the central government schools, definitely.
Only central government schools. Only central government schools.
State government, why should they use NCRT books? State government books are there. So, anybody else can share? Mutkar would like to share? KVRS Mutkar. I sir. Mutkar. KVRS Mutkar. It is not there now. Shall we conclude the meeting today with this? Probably we have to arrange another meeting. What I see is we have to arrange another meeting by knowing better what is the condition of the state government, what is the condition of central government, and what they are doing it. and how far these things has been done. So we have to understand, get the more information on this issue. But as far as one WhatsApp message is concerned, that there is a message when implementation is being done in particular fashion, and the way more or less Mohan Gar also told the same thing. But how far the state governments have get it up, and as far as he says, Telangana is not taken up at all on these issues. And one WhatsApp message, based on WhatsApp message is 10th class, no examination, 11th and 12th, that section, the +3 level, +4 level is a different, there goes 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th is +4 level. And then afterwards degree level comes, and I already repeat that, told already, that after first year of degrees, one certificate, second year of degree, another certificate, third year of degree, another certificate. Like that, that system is there, it's going to be implemented. So better now, let us have another meeting after knowing what Karnataka as how they are, how far they are implemented, what their implementation means, what they have done. And what states, we have to contact any central government school and find out what they are doing it. For example, Kendriya Vidyalaya. We have to go to a Kendriya Vidyalaya and find out what is the new education policy and what is the rules for these things. So based on that only we can understand what actual things are going on. I request some of the members to work on this issue and find out the information and post us so that we will have another session on this issue.
Can we ask our Samskruta Bharati? It has got good roots in states, to give some information, to do put a little more work and give us what in Karnataka and other states is happening.
I don't know. I don't know Samskruta Bharati management, how they react to these things, and they have got their own policies. They are not concerned about what state government is doing or central government is doing. They have got their own particular aims of pracharam of Sanskritam, they do it. But how far the governments have done, they have to find out from different channels of government and different school managements of central government schools and state government schools. So we have to find out from them, and educational boards, we have to talk to them and find out what is going on in those things. And based on that information, we have to come forward, and we have to come with another expert who can have throw on this light in these things.
If we have the MP who has declared his name, sir, I have some people in Bangalore who can contact him and get some information, sir.
Okay,
if the MP,
it's great.
If the MP who has declared that they are implementing, so we will take his help.
With this, I request Dr. Visala Shungar to conclude with the concluding remarks of the program. We thank Mohan Garu for his excellent guidance on the education policy. Visala Shungar, please.
Sabhayai Namaha. Dr. Sri Ram Mohan Mahodaya Garu, he delivered a very good lecture on our new education policy and the 5-language policy, 5-language formula about which he has spoken. That is really excellent, and all of us should try to, if possible, try to implement from the primary school level to the maximum highest educational level, because mother tongue should be known by everybody and Sanskrit should be made as national language. For that, all of us should try and bring pressure on the ministers, that is on the government, state government, central government, and all the great educationalists also, and all of us should try for that. Then because Hindi is our national language in one sense, in the sense to move among all the states of our India. So Hindi is okay. Then English for international communication. So all these 4 should be essentially known by all the children from the childhood, slowly, gradually. And wherever they go, wherever they stay, that at particular place, the language where the people speak, that is also very essential to be happy with that neighbors or in the office or anywhere. So this 5 language formula is very excellent, as I feel. And he has spoken about so many good ideas, the differences of science and arts he has spoken, and he spoke about education, training and research, then classification of literate and illiterate. regarding so many other ideas he shared with all of us. Then regarding the present topic, that is what is going on about this new education policy, either NCERT is taking care, as it is known by our Sri Akala Prabhakar Rao Garu, the NCERT is working because we have given recommendations. But what I feel is, if any of us, our members are known people, if anybody are the members of that new education policy committee, if we can come across them, we may be able to know what sort of changes they are implementing and how we are feeling that our education, that is our Gurukula type of education, should be tried to implement slowly. And also our Bharata Desha Charitra, the greatness of the rulers of our country, that should be known by all of us, the Indians, the Hindus and Indians also. So what steps they are taking, it is better to find out that. And also the regarding till the degree level, mostly since the primary, upper primary, middle class and school level, inter or degree level, they recommend certain books, they keep certain books in the syllabus, and the same books children automatically study and follow. And after that, while after inter and coming to degree, the people, they become, that is, they are not only small kids at that time, so they get enthusiasm to learn more about the topics which are given in their syllabus. So gradually they may be having the interest to see the other books. Nowadays, this through internet and Google, they are able to get so much of matter also. So thus they can gain more knowledge on the same topic, concentrating on the book which is recommended by their authorities for the syllabus. So thus they can develop their language in and standard and knowledge, and also capability and originality and creativity. So for that they can study. Now what we have to do presently is, we should try to know what is our new education policy, in which condition now it is, what type of, what sort of changes have been implemented by the authorities. If they need the help of, the help in the sense, any suggestions or any write-ups from the educationalists, we, the good samstas, all these educational people, they should try to help them in we have already given certain suggestions, and we should also now presently physically also, we can assure them, if possibility is there, that we will also become a part of to help them to implement the and change the new education policy and create certain topics which need to be implemented in the syllabus to make the mold the minds of us, the Hindus, Bharatiyas, especially, while recognizing the greatness of our India, our heritage, our culture. So in that level, this type of work is to be done. Certain people should come forward to devote their time, and they should have rapport, they should have the capacity to interact with the authorities of the state level or national level or NCERT new education policy implementers. So that is, sir. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I thank our Sri Mohan Rao Garu for presenting such a nice, wonderful discussion and topic. His own experiences also he has shared with us. I thank you, sir, very much. And
thank you, Amma.
I thank our Veda Samskruti Samiti very much for giving this opportunity for me to talk, also for giving this type of lectures, arranging these lectures on our new education policy. Thank you, sir.
1 second. Here, Geeta Lakshmi Garu from the Ganjam is there, is an educationist. She is running a school. Ma, do you have any idea on this education policy implementation? Did you get any guidelines? Geeta Lakshmi Garu. Geeta Lakshmi Garu, are you in line, or Sai Kumar Garu? Ever not line?
Hari Om, Hari Om. My pranams to each and everyone who are present here.
Yeah, what is going on, madam? What is going on in schools? Did you get any idea or guidelines or any
No,
instructions?
I don't have any clear idea, sir. Everything is in the air. Like it's not yet anything. Nothing concrete is known to me.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Everything
what
is in
I'm trying to
the
tell you.
making stage.
Yeah,
That's what I've been hearing
managements
from
do
my
not
friends
know.
and other people.
So what you are planning for your July batch now?
Actually, we are also waiting. We are also in the making. To tell you the truth. We don't have any clear picture, but as it is, we are going on with our own schedule, whatever we have been planning for the past many years, like integrating Sanskrit in our regular curriculum, like as I shared with you earlier, like teaching Vishnu Sahasranam and Bhagavad Gita, and some small conversations and I mean teaching children like small sentences in spoken Sanskrit and things like that we have been planning, but I am also waiting for some concrete syllabus or whatever, something which can be implemented in next academic year. So I am also waiting for you. That's why I've been here. I want to know more about it.
That's what I thought something will come out now, but I'm sorry, but I could not present the correct picture of the NEP policy. We'll have another session on this in future. We
Sure,
will try
sure,
to
sir.
find out. We'll try to find out, and you also, if anybody knows on these things, please guide us. Please help us to give a lecture on these things by some eminent person who knows actual happening. What is actually happening by NEP policy there in the government
Okay,
as
sir.
well as in state governments or central governments. If you got any
Okay, sir.
information on
Thank
that,
you.
please help
Thank you.
us. Okay, okay, please do that.
Thank you.
Okay. So with this, Dr. Babu, please take over, and we'll close after that with Shanti Mantram and Janaganamana.
Sorry. Namo Namaha. Thank you for this opportunity to give vote of thanks. Ram Mohan Garu, the Chief Manager, Indian Bank, retired, he has given an excellent presentation on new education policy, present status, and importance of education, training, and research in one's life. So actually, this is a policy being given out at the center, and this is to be implemented by central government schooling system like CBRT, ICSC, and also and at all state governments which are having different political parties being run by the government. So it takes time. It's not that what government says, okay, it will be affected from 2022. So it will start happening. Especially we have gone through this COVID, and with that itself, even the world system which was going on, it was limping, and now we are trying to get back to this. So things will, I think, will happen in due course of time, as a lot of preparations will go on for implementation. But nevertheless, we keep having these webinars periodically to get ourselves acquainted with the latest. So let us all thank, on behalf of everybody, I'll thank Ram Mohan Garu for sparing his time and then collecting a lot of information from his side. He must have spent a lot of time on this. Let us all thank Ram Mohan Garu for his presentation.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. And there are around 30 participants who have actively participated in this. Murthy Garu, Naveen Kumar, Prahalad Kumar Garu, Vishalakshi Garu, Geeta Lakshmi, and a lot of people have joined, and like Colonel Hari Prasad, Akella Varalakshmi, Akella Murali Mohan, and Prahlad Kumar Garu. So they're all, a lot of people who have, because everybody is interested in that.
KVRS Murthy garu.
KVRS Murthy garu. So everybody is interested in this topic. So they're looking forward what is happening, but it will happen. It is evolving. This is a process. It doesn't happen all of a sudden. The central government gives, okay, from so and so date it will happen, it will not. The state governments have to buy it, and also they have to implement it. How to select textbooks? Of course, some discussion was going on. Generally, what we have seen throughout our life is at lower level, primary and secondary level, is all prescribed textbooks, which the student tries to learn from. But at a higher level, like degree and postgraduate level, there will be prescribed books and also reference books, 2-3 textbooks. A textbook may not cover all the syllabus. So 2-3 textbooks will be there prescribed from where you are supposed to take the topics. And there will be a lot of reference books which get connected and gives more knowledge about the topics which are being taught. So ultimately, what knowledge you have, that is important. Knowledge point of view, as much of knowledge from as many writers, it is good enough at higher level. But at lower level, it is prescribed textbooks. Sorry, it is a little inconvenience that our speaker, so audio system is not. Some audio problem is there in the speakers, so you could not hear completely. So, but nevertheless, he has been. I could see his video. He has been trying to put his ear onto the speakers and trying to hear. So there is an inconvenience for the speakers and for the audience. So let us.
Sir, but while I was talking, my voice was clear, no, sir?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
Loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Thank you.
Okay, it's a different experience. We tried, asking questions through chat also. Naveen Kumar has done it.
Yeah.
And let us thank, Visalakshi Garu for giving concluding remarks. And also the Veda Samskruti Samiti, as she said, a lot of work has been going on in coordinating and intimating all of you to attend this. A lot of coordination work is required to conduct a webinar, and a lot of work, Visalakshi Garu and a lot of other people like Swati and all, lot of people are doing the work. Let us thank all of them for making this happen. Thank you very much.
Padmanabhan garu, Tirumala garu, KC Sarma garu, Bhavani P. So many people have attended. Everybody, we thank you everybody for attending these seminars, and we'll try to have one more seminar on NEP as soon as possible. So now Shanti Mantram. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pasyantu, ma kachit dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamustu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Satyam Vada Dharman Chara Sarve Janaha Sukhino Bhavantu. Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Hari Om. Janaganamana. Janaganamana Adhinayaka Jaya He Bharata Bhagya Vidhata. Punjab Sindhu Gujarat Maratha Dravida Utkala Vanga Vindhya Himachala Yamuna Ganga Ujjwala Jaladhi Taranga Tava Subha Name Jage Tava Subha Ashisha Mahe गाहे तव जय
जय
गाथा
गाथा।
जनगण
जन गण
मंगलदायक जय
मंगलदायक
हे
जय हे
भारत
भारत
भाग्य
भाग्य
विधाता
विधाता।
जय हे
जय हे
जय हे
जय
जय जय हे
जय
जय हिंद जय
जय
हिंद जय हिंद जय श्री राम जय श्री राम जय श्री